Well, that's the point.
Keanu Reeves. Do you know what I'm going to talk about?
Bill and Ted
Constantine
4?
2?
Oh.
Something amazing Keanu Reeves is doing.
Bill and Ted 4?
John Wick.
And this could also help. This can also help the Academy Awards. They should listen to this.
The Oscars? Hell no.
Marcus, if I responded to you and I was threatened, then I would be a coward.
No, thank you, Marcus. Have a good night.
World Champ asks, how do you feel about people making competing shows against MME? I'm often imitated, never duplicated MME. That's all I got to say. Healthy competition is fine.
There's only so many
MME is one of a
hours
kind.
during the day. There's obviously going to be overlap.
Yeah. Let Mark. No
That's why
thanks,
it's not-
Voltaire.
What
Marcus,
is the article they pulling up?
Yeah, thank you to get me back on track. Thank you, Anthony. Hold on, let me. Now I can't find it.
I mean, I'm
have too
making
many-
live streams for the next couple days if I can try.
Awesome. Keanu Reeves calls for Best Stunts Oscar. That's amazing. Yes, these talented people put their lives at risk to perform these awesome stunts for these action movies. No CGI here. Well, CGI helps it. And I can't believe, it's sad to think that there's not a Best Stunt Oscar. Are you kidding me? Can you imagine how much good press that would get? What do you think, Crazy Joe?
I mean, there's certainly merit in that. I did hear John Campia brought this up recently, and he brought up the fact that a lot of times people won't know what's a stunt and what isn't, because if they're done well, you maybe can't tell.
But don't they need rewarded just like everyone? The special effects giver.
I would think so.
This is a freaking no-brainer.
Absolutely.
Taladia, what do you think?
I think this is a no-brainer because people who do the stunts deserve to get awards.
Yeah. Anthony.
I'll be up for it. Stunt people.
Wouldn't it even help with the press for the Academy Awards?
It'll be interesting to add that for like it's stunt get award. Yeah, I'll be down for that. They deserve it.
But then
risk
Tom
their life
Cruise
24/7.
Tom Cruise would get a ton of rewards.
Well, he might be nominated, but does he do the best stunts? He does some of his own stunts, but there's other people. Yeah. CJH, you don't think, isn't this a good idea?
Yes and no.
Explain the no.
Well, no, if it's like actual actors doing their stunts, they just
I completely disagree with you. If actual actors, you think they're going to get preferential treatment? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I see that aspect, but I think if actual actors do participate in stunts, that's an amazing thing. Todd Fayer, $10. Thank you, Todd. Max, do you think the Martha line of BVS and the horrible Lex Luthor in BVS divided the Snyder fan base? No, the Snyder fan base loves BVS. What divided the Snyder fan base is everything that happened after the Snyder Cut was released. Some people were happy enough. Some people think everyone should move on. The Snyder fan base at that time was pretty much together up until the release of the Snyder Cut. And that Martha line is one of my favorite lines in comic book movies because I didn't even think of it. I'm like, it's so simple. But yes, both their mother's names are Martha. Why did you say that name? It stopped them in his tracks.
That was pretty loud.
Simple, but
it
effective.
Stopped him in his tracks. It was a beautiful, Crazy Joe. What do you think of that line? That's a beautiful line. You're muted.
Do you know there's an alien mothership inside the solar system?
How's that?
You're saying random stuff, CJ. So I'm trying to stay on top. Go ahead.
Yeah.
See.
I'm not a huge Zack Snyder fan at all. I don't
But
like most of his movies, and I loved that line. I think people really misunderstood that line because people took it as, oh, their mom was the same name, so they stopped fighting. And it's like, no,
No,
it humanized the character in
yes, he
his
didn't think it was
eyes.
he thought him as an alien, an outsider,
Yeah,
and someone that brought destruction to his coworkers. The building collapsed, and then that he kept thinking
I'll
him
be
as an
honest.
object instead of a person.
I never noticed that they're both of their mom has the same name. I was like, oh, okay, that's
But
interesting.
you gotta realize that the general public are pretty stupid.
I mean, they always are. It's not no surprising about that. It's
But
not.
I think
It's
it's a beautiful line.
So
yeah.
you
I
go
enjoyed
to
the line.
dumb
I
it
enjoyed it.
down.
And the Lex
I
Luthor, Todd, I have less people defending that version of Lex Luthor, but if I put this is how I try to sell the Snyderverse to people that aren't fans. I'm like, if you actually think of Lex Luthor in the real world or Superman in the real world, if the Superman really existed, there would be people protesting Superman because he's an alien, he's an outsider. They not everyone's going to be 100% behind Superman. Is that accurate, Crazy Joe? If he exists in the real world,
Oh, absolutely. No,
yes, there would be
nobody
there would be
likes.
people protesting, not trusting him, and then Lex Luthor. If you're talking about current day and age, a lot of the moguls are kind of weird. Look at Jeff Bezos. Look at Elon Musk. They're kind of dorky, weird nerds. Elon Musk has a really weird Twitter account. And I'm not saying I dislike him, but that is accurate to that version of Lex. He's a very weird businessman that makes a lot of money, and he's awkward. And
It should never
it's
been the
just
main
accurate.
DC though. It should have been its own universe.
Yeah.
Its own Elseworld.
Todd Fair, another $10 super chat. Thank you for the support, Todd. Max, do you think Superman snapping necks and not caring about damage to humans with his fight with Zod also divide the fan base? Thank you for the super chat, Todd. What I would say is, show me the proof that he doesn't care about humans.
I agree
because he actually snapped the neck to save humans, and it brought him great pain. Like, people say he's a murderer, but soldiers,
Imagine killing your
law
own
enforcement
kind.
across
That
the
would
world.
hurt.
Yes, there's problems with law enforcement, but when they stop someone and that's about to kill someone else, they're called a hero. And then they don't take. There's no joy in Henry Cavill's performance of when he did that. He was screaming out in pain when he did that. He did not. That was actually very much in line with Superman's character to me, subjectively, is that it took so much effort and great pain for him to actually end Zod's life, because that was one of the last people from his home planet, and he would not stop. Zod basically played chicken with Superman in that scene. He's like, I'm not gonna stop trying to kill people. You're never gonna stop me. Were they gonna try to lock him up? They could not stop Zod. He was causing destruction everywhere. And it was great. That was so emotionally charged, that scene, for me. I know people act like people were hyperbolic and say he's like a murderer in that scene, but the acting in there was perfect. There was so much pain in his face when he did that, to me.
I'd agree with Todd 50% here. Not with the killing of Zod. The killing of Zod has basis in the comics. He killed Zod in the comics too back in the 80s.
And
but
in the Christopher Reeves movie,
he did not kill Zod in the Christopher Reeve movie.
Wait,
he threw
he
threw Zod down into a cavern. We never saw Zod die. And in fact, there was a deleted scene where we see that Zod in fact did not die. There was a holding area down there, and we see the North Pole police arresting the now human Zod. So they cut that scene from the film, but the intent was never that Zod was dead. He was basically thrown into a holding chamber that was down there. But in the comics, he did kill Zod.
Mm-hmm. But here's the thing, though, Crazy Joe. Superman did blow up the Fortress of Solitude in the Donner Cut.
That's true. That's true. And also, yeah, but supposedly Zod had been taken away by the police before then.
Yeah, I remember that scene. That was fun.
Well, Zod. Well, Todd, I almost called you Zod, Todd. Well, Todd, that was a great little segue. I love defending BVS, and I appreciate you supporting the channel in that way. I do want to kind of get back on track to the stunt Oscar though. I think this is needed. I like that. I like that he is the front man for this. He has a great relationship with a lot of stunt teams in Hollywood. I like Keanu Reeves. I'm so on board to support this. If there's a hashtag, I would get behind this hashtag for sure. I don't know. How can we spread awareness that stunt performers need to be recognized by the Academy? It's like we shouldn't even have to be doing this right now. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't even have to be doing this. Do you agree, Crazy Joe?
I agree, but my question is this a publicity stunt?
Well, of course.
See what I
Yes.
did there? Stunt.
Oh,
Yeah, I see
yes.
what you did there. I
Yes,
see
yes,
what you
yes.
did there, Crazy Joe.
Yes, it is a publicity stunt for John Wick 4's coming out. But also the Academy Awards are. And you can't blame entertainers when their message drives home the most is when they're the most relevant, when they have a project coming out. So the message is going to be even more driven home because you see the amazing stunt work in John Wick 4 right now, right? So that is why it's happening now. Yes, there's other reasons, there's ulterior motives, but it's time. It's time. What can we do to help these amazing stunt performers? Look what happened. I don't want to bring up a tragedy, but Rust. Stunt performers, they risk. And what else can we do? We could ask for accountability for safety for these stunt performers. And we can also ask that they be given accolades, right? We should ask for both, that they be protected and awarded. Protected and awarded. And I am way, way behind this message. And I love practical effects. And I just want these performers to be safe. And why are they on the low end of the totem pole, even in this day and age?
I
It's
agree. To be fair,
ridiculous.
like they do most of the stunt for these actors. They risk their life. As a matter of fact, they even break their ankles, their arms, or whatever.
Yes.
It even has a concussion, whatever thing. I can't even say the word right, but whatever it is, like they get their body hurts every time they do their stunts for the actors. So like I do think what Keanu is saying is good. They should get
When
at least an award for that.
when CGI is so good now, why don't they just do that?
Well, CG, there has to be a healthy medium. I think a good production considers both opportunities to do practical and CGI, mix it up, give less a workload to each.
If there's a shot you can do, most studios do CGI for stunts. Some, not all, some. Some studio doesn't, some they do. If it works, they don't need CGI. If they can pull off the stunt, sometimes they use CGI for it.
Okay, Todd Fair, $20. Proof. Thank you, Todd. Now this one I'm unsure. If I have to rewatch, I need the timestamp of this, Todd. I need the timestamp of this because yes, there was some wreckage when Zod and Superman were fighting.
There was no
But,
people around those buildings. Oh
but
no!
here's the other thing that's
Just
funny.
no.
I'm going to read your full comment, Todd. But here's the other thing that's funny. There's buildings and stuff falling all the time in Marvel movies, but they cut away. What do you think? When a building collapses, no one gets hurt? They just cut away. You know,